All right, we are back continuing our Mario block here for classic games done quick. I'm once again joined by the always wonderful MitchFlowerPower with Super
Woo!
Mario Brothers 3 Warpless. So, Mitch, you have the floor.
How's it going, guys? You can't get rid of me that easy. I'm back again for some more Super Mario Bros. 3. This time we are going to do the any percent warpless category. And what's interesting about this category, it was just slightly underdeveloped at the last classic games done quick, which is pretty awesome. As you can see, Frezzy Man, he did it in 1 hour and 5 minutes, and that was 10 years ago. So you can see it's come a long way. The world record right now is 50 minutes and 36 seconds. It's a big time gap. So I have TEEX with me here. He's going to do some of the co-commentary for the times that I need to be quiet. TEEX, you can say hello, and we get the countdown on the go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm TEEX88, and I'll be joining Mitch, the man himself, on commentary. Mitch has, of course, been running SMB3 for 10 years now, and has since come a long way, and he now holds world records all across the leaderboard. And he will be racing the Haxer and Stewie Cartman in 100% for the upcoming 2020 installment of AGDQ. So I do believe we're still in the process of setting up, so please hang tightly, and we'll be starting shortly. Well, unless there's no further ado, Mitch, just let me know when you're ready.
We should be ready to go. You just do the countdown from 3 on go, and I will get the run started.
All right, sounds great. 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom. Like I said before, 1-1, hardest level in the game. I'm not even kidding.
So Mitch is gonna. So now we're in 1-1. Mitch is gonna take a moment to build P-Speed right away, and he's gonna make his way over the first piranha and boost into the clouds off the second piranha, Paracupa from the platform. And this is a quick and easy way to avoid the obstacles on the ground that could otherwise get in your way. Level 1-2 will be coming up next. It will have a pretty finicky strat to gain early P-Speed. It does require some running up the base of both hills in the beginning ever so slightly in order to start building a meter. You'll know the strat works when you get 6 filled arrows as you cross over the first horizontal pipe, in which case you'll have lift off by the time you reach the end of the second pipe.
Yeah, there's a weird frame rule that applies that even if I do it perfectly, sometimes I don't get it. We're going to skip level 3 and 4 because this is warpless. We want to beat the game as fast as possible, but without warping.
So we'll be coming up on the first fort of the game, and although we won't be staying here very long, Mitch is going to rack up P-Speed and then use it to fly up over the ceiling to grab the magic whistle. And while it will not be used in any part of the run, this route will still save time over fighting Boom Boom.
Oh, it will it? No, it actually will. Alright, so the Hammer Brother's not being very nice to me. He's doing movements to 2 because he dislikes everything about everything. We're definitely going to go for the tunnel. It's my patented strat here. So let's hope we get it, guys. Let's hope we get it. Oh, so close. Whew, man, it's definitely a strategy you want to get. Shucks. But not much of a time loss. Ooh, the face bonk. It hurts. It hurts. All movements to 2, World 1. Very pog. Very nice P-Speeds there. So there's a gap in the platform there, and if the game checks to see if you're running on the ground to build your P-meter at a time when you're walking over that hole, the game will actually not build a P-meter arrow, and you can kind of get screwed over and not build P-Speed, and it will cause you to run back to the left and then back to the right. But I didn't have to do that, so I got my strats.
Every once in a while, you can miss P-Speed by getting frame rolled, and what that means is that as soon as you start running, the game checks your P-Speed every 8 frames. So if you're hitting that checkpoint while you're running over that small gap, you'll fail to completely fill your meter and reach the Koopa. You can recalibrate by turning back and starting another cycle, although each attempt could cost you a couple of seconds.
Yeah, pretty much. How you doing over there, TEEX? How do you like those movements of 2 I just got? All movements of 2, 1 movement of 1. So one interesting thing is that you'll notice I grabbed the Fire Flower from the Hammer Brother, and you'll be like, Mitch, I played that Hammer Brother, there was no power up there. What's very interesting is the power up will only spawn depending on the actual position the Hammer Brother is on the map. So there's certain places where the Hammer Brother can move on the map where you won't get a power up. In World 1, there's only 2 spaces that will give you a power up in the Hammer Brother battle. Weird, right? for my double shots, and we successfully executed a 3:31 World 1 for any percent warpless. That's actually a pretty good time. Right on.
It's also worth noting that the pattern you get for each of the coupling fights is determined by a timer. It starts after the last level you completed to the frame upon which you enter the pipe in the airship. So there's a number of other factors that can influence the pattern during that time period, which could include the number of movements that the hammer bro gives you on the overworld and the number of spaces you have to travel to get to the castle. So you could also bump in the overworld, and even the frames that you lose picking up a power-up on the ship could also influence those.
The reason we're able to track it so easily is because, guess what? Auto-scrollers are the same every single time, and that's kind of like a blessing in our position when it comes to the patterns. If we get to the castle at the same time every time, then we know from the castle all the way to the battle it's going to be the same. So that's good. That's good. It's good. This level does not like being played, so hopefully we don't land in the swimming pool. Okay, we're not going swimming today. That's good.
The first half of 2-2, it just simply involves making your way over to the hill, and then you'll want to slide as far to the bottom of that slope as you can to garner the most speed as you can, and then let that momentum carry you past the floating raft. And that's achieved by immediately tapping A each time you make contact with the ground. So once you're past that raft, you'll have to carefully time the length of your jumps, so you're barely able to see yourself off screen, which could kind of make it a bit of a challenge.
Ooh, spooky ghosts.
The trickiest part of the World 2 Fortress is just right in the beginning, because you have the opportunity to gain some early P speed in the lower level. It's easier said than done because the floor is just littered with dry bones.
Yeah,
So it requires some really small, meticulous jumps, and you'll have just enough space to clear them and allow yourself the ability to run, so that you can build that meter. The time save is small, but it's worth going for, as it's a relatively low risk strat. You just want to avoid stomping on as many of those dry bones as you can through that section, so because there's also the possibility you could just not build P speed at all.
And I just got lucky there too. The first Hammer Brother in this world has a music box. I don't want to fight that music box. And the Hammer Brother movements are random. I can't control where they go. They could run right in front of me, be a space in front of me, and I'm forced to fight him. But luckily, he moved out of my way there. So that's they're about 10 to 11 seconds, and if I'm forced to fight a Hammer Brother I don't want, that's an instant 10-second time loss. And as you fellow speedrunners know, that's a big no-no. That's a big bad. It makes me sad.
One of the best case scenarios you could possibly ask for in terms of Hammer Bro RNG is in World 2 is fighting the hammer, or at least the Hammer Bro that carries the hammer. That will allow you to skip up to 3 stages: the Angry Sun, and 2-5 and 2-3. Although there's a lot of luck involved just making sure that the bro is making all those correct movements each step of the way, so that you can have the chance to fight him. But the second best case scenario is that he's able to skip the music box bro right away and then just keep moving forward.
Now we want to fight this Hammer Brother. This is the Hammer Brother with the hammer. Yay. Imagine it wasn't. Oh my gosh, some random early hammer. I wasn't even paying attention. That would be embarrassing. So we have to really focus on what happens after this pyramid. If the Hammer Brothers do a movement of 2, then I'm going to get a specific pattern. But if the Hammer Brothers does a movement of 1, I'm going to get a different pattern. And that's what we were talking about with the boss patterns earlier. Dude, this is a really good world. Alright. 23. Yeah. We gotta watch out for our coin count for coin ships.
It's also worth noting, as Mitch goes along through these runs, that that you'll almost always be able to know which Hammer Bro is which, just based on the direction that they're facing, as soon as the overworld starts playing on the map.
Yeah, so, it's after they do their movement. They do their and then whenever they stop, they'll face default direction based on whether or not they're Hammer Brother 1 or 2, or in some worlds Hammer Brother 3, right?
the case of World 2, you'll know which one is the music box and which one's the hammer. Well, the music box will always face right, like as their first step, and the hammer will always face left.
All right, so we have a boss fire kill. This one shouldn't be too bad. It's pretty standard what's going to happen, and this is a way that we can show that these bosses can be easily controlled. As soon as I enter the pipe, I'm going to run forward a little bit, shoot 2 shots. The boss is going to shoot his triple Cheerios kind of right away, and then he's going to run into the pit, and then I'm gonna shoot him 2 more times and then stomp on him, and then hopefully clean up the kill. Hopefully I don't hit his shell because it kind of like bounces you around everywhere, so let's go ahead and give that a go. I won't get a chance to go for the off-screen one grab. That's okay. Solid 1025 or 925. Sorry, that's pretty good. Right on.
Nice.
Triple Cheerios. If I didn't pay attention to my boss pattern and the Hammer Brothers did something else, the boss would have done something different than that. And the boss battles are really, really annoying and difficult in this game because when you make a mistake and if you're not trained for whatever mistake you made, you have no clue what he's gonna do, right? And it just makes it even harder.
You'll want to get those 10 fireballs into each Koopaling as soon as you can, and even if you miss like 1 or 2 fireballs, the fight can get really ugly really quickly.
Ooh,
you don't know how to react.
You guys are gonna like that little thing I just did there. Sorry about that, I got a little excited. Plus 0.5, you know what I'm talking about, TEEX.
Dude. Yeah, level 3-1 is a pretty basic swimming level to start off with. You're effectively just moving forward, steering clear of the blooper, and making your way over to the wall to build P-speed over the second half of the level's water, and then effortlessly make your way to the exit pipe. What Mitch just did right in the beginning was he got a frame-perfect jump, so the game thinks you're on on solid ground for just a split second, like for just a frame, and then you'll be able to save a little bit of time just by not being in contact with the water that slows you down for just that brief moment.
Alright, that level is extremely hard.
3-2 is easily one of the more annoying levels to be consistent with in SMB3, and a lot of that can be attributed to the hitbox interactions between Mario and Cheep Cheeps in the water. There are instances in which you can be directly on top of the sprite to stomp kill them, but if the acceleration speeds are too high at the moment that you both make contact, the game will instead register that as damage, and then you'll just fall right through them. So the optimum strat for that level just entails getting early P-speed by moving forward as soon as the first wooden beam turns left upon hitting the elbow, and then landing flush with it to start building your meter. If that was done correctly, it will save you up to 3 seconds over the alternative strat of just simply moving forward without P-speed.
Ooh, so I'm close. I'm very close to in the clear with this Hammer Brother. I'm very close in the clear with the runaway, bro. Please, just move down. Ah, okay. Getting a little nervous here. If he moves up, he's really just tickling me with it. He just wants me to sweat. Come on, buddy. Yes, okay. We're in the clear. Thank goodness. Alright, so this world has just enough levels in Hammer Brothers so that you can make it all the way to the auto-scroller, which is 3-6. Use a cloud and cross the bridge. The bridge opens and closes between every single level that you do, including Hammer Brothers. If you miss a Hammer Brother, you can see the bridge is open. So if I didn't fight this Hammer Brother here, the bridge would be open when I need to cross, and I would have to take an intentional death. It's pure RNG. But luckily, boom. Bridge is closed, get the cross, and we're good to go, guys. We are good to go. Oh no! Scary fish! That's okay. We made it. We in there.
3-8 is one of those few levels that don't really incorporate P-speed as a strat, so the objective there is just to clear those 2 ice blocks as soon as you can, and then just start jumping immediately every time you come in contact with the water.
Yeah, you're just jailing out of water. Alright, this level is the next hard level. blast hard level in the world, I guess. It's the
3-9 is home of the first infamous H jump, so you'll see Mitch build P-speed right away and then maneuver past these platforms and bombs in such a way that will position them just past those note blocks, so he'll have enough height and distance to clear that gap no problem. It's a bit easier said than done, but if you can make it, you'll save a good chunk of time, roughly about 5 to 7 seconds, and it will also allow you to avoid a hefty amount of lag due to throwing those ice blocks to get your way through.
Oh, so I bumped on the overworld map right there. You guys will hear it. I'll be quiet so you guys can hear it. I bump on the overworld map, which means it takes me longer to get there. Ooh, the ugly stutter, right? So now the boss pattern's gonna give me something different. But if there is a boss that I want to mess up while traveling to, this is it, because Wendy doesn't do anything different. She just stands on the ground and shoots her hula hoops. So I can just, it's not gonna make a difference. This is the one boss where you can make mistakes while you travel to. I believe that overworld bump was the mistake I made in this world. Pretty solid world.
I want to say that each bump that you make on the overworld map costs you about a half a second, but as Mitch said, there's only 2 Koopalings in the game where you don't really have to worry about changing boss patterns, and Wendy is definitely one of them, so you'll just expect her to move forward as soon as the fight starts. So you'll see coming up how you'll be able to handle that.
Yes, my controller sounds just for you guys. Yeah, you'll see this boss is pretty pog for fire flower strats. One of the easier ones to really do, unless I mess it up.
This is the hardest to do a jump kill normally. It's an easy fire kill because you're on flat ground, which makes it very easy to measure your distance between you and her when she's walking towards you, and then shoot those fireballs in pairs until she's down. It's also one of the Koopaling. The jump killer, however, is the fact that she fires off those rings with her wand, and they kind of bounce around the room and never disappear until she's defeated. So it's tricky enough just to navigate around them once they're there. But once she starts jumping, you can get caught off guard pretty easily and take damage.
Yeah. So... yeah, but she went down. She tried. It's okay. All right, World 4, everyone's favorite, right? Woo, everything's big. And the world is shaped like a turtle. For anyone who didn't know that, get a good look at that whenever I exit this level.
World 4 is definitely one of the more popular subworlds in SMP3. Just because everything is fun sized.
Okay, so I did a turn back there because I wanted to not get 3 of the same cards, and I've been kind of, I guess subconsciously, I really don't pay attention to it after a while. Yeah. Don't want to get the fanfare. More like bad fare.
4-1 has a pretty fun P-speed strat. You either want to grab the big Koopa shell, or at least have a clear path for yourself with those fireballs, so you can land flush with every surface you run on. And that way you can build P-speed just in time to boost past the waterfall onto the upper platforms to carefully executed jumps, and then land right in front of the exit pipe. Finish 2 is a pretty fun stage to run through with nothing terribly complicated going on. You just want to make sure that you're at least grabbing one of those ice blocks in the beginning to take out one of the 2 fire piranhas coming up, and make some carefully measured jumps to land right in front of the exit. It's generally advisable to approach the end of the level from the upper platforms in the clouds, as you never know if you'll get a surprise from one of the cheap cheats below.
The Hammer Brothers are kind of jerking me around right now.
The 4-3 is one of the more aesthetically appealing levels to run through in the game, both for the runner and for those who are watching. More often than less, that first Sledge Bro will jump right at the start, so you can just run right underneath him, and then shoot a fireball right away at the start as a good safety measure in case he stays on the ground. Though it's not necessary. There's still enough space between you and the Sledge Bro to react to either situation. And then when everything else in the level is executed precisely, from the stomps on the Buzzy Beetles to the carefully timed jumps on those really small tiles, everything just looks really cool. Alright, so in addition to... so the 4-4 is another level I frequently regard as a gatekeeper in speedruns, just because it's a level that requires really tightly timed execution, and it's very easy to take damage in. Of course, time repercussions for gaining back power-ups are always very costly to varying degrees. Interesting to note about the Lakitu movements and spiny throws is that it's not RNG. They're dependent on where you are in the water and the kind of inputs that you make as you're getting through the level. So as long as you're playing 100% consistently each time, you can theoretically avoid getting sniped each time.
So hopefully this Hammer Brother moves out of my way. I don't want to fight this one, but I will if I have to. And then just music box. Oh, so far so good.
In an ideal world, you would just want to grab the Cloud Bro as you're making your way through World 4. But if you're able to pick up any other fight along the way, then you would probably want to get the P-Wing, just because it'll serve you well when you want to fly over that big platform in level 6-9 later on. If he's able
to... So not only does this mess me up with I got an extra Hammer Brother, but it's also in a position where I don't know the fire kill. So I think what I'm supposed to do is delay one fence. And this one fence is one space, right?
I would say that half fence post is usually one extra bro movement.
Well, no, a movement is 0, but I was one space from the fortress. So, at the 100%, right? Because I got no movements from the Hammer Brothers, but I was one space to the left from the fortress. So I had to compensate.
Yeah, plus you also have to factor in that the autoscroller is a lot slower than the other ships.
Yeah, no, I'm wondering if the one space is one fence of difference or not. I can't remember. Whatever, we'll go for it. It wouldn't be a marathon without these weird little things that like never happen.
Yeah, in most other cases, if you get 3 extra bro movements, well, if you pick up 3 bro fights right after the fortress, you can anticipate the pattern that you would normally get in 100%, in which Iggy would shoot his wand right away.
Yeah, this one I can't though. I wish. Oh, so there's fences at every pipe. In almost all the airships, there's little fences before you enter the pipe. There's a little aesthetic that they just decided to put in, and normally I would enter the pipe on the very first frame that the game would let me, but because I was on a different position in the overworld map, and after we explained how the boss patterns work, I would delay entering the pipe, and we use fences that appear on the screen as a visual cue of when we would kind of control the boss pattern. Because right now I'm kind of going blind. Where I fought the Hammer Brother is not normally where I would actually be whenever I want to fight this boss. But I can't actually see any fences here, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. I could see these ones, but these ones don't really help. Oh, I delayed a little bit there, so... I can't believe that. It worked. I can't believe that! Oh my goodness! It worked, guys! So, I got the fire kill that I know and can do very well. What? See, so you guys saw the fence, and we delayed, and we tried to compensate for the map. That was silly. I can't believe that worked. It's so silly. Yeah, so if I didn't delay there, I would have got some pattern that I would have no clue. And this boss is really finicky. Jumps all over the place. You never know what the heck he's going to do. But we got it. That's pretty good. All right. Off to World 5. Whee!
It's just taking me a bit of a moment just to catch up with the stream. It looks like you got the 100% pattern. So yeah, Iggy did get his early one shot in there. So that allows you to shoot right 2 fireballs as soon as you enter the boss arena. 2 more follow-ups, and then stop them, and then just get those last 6 into them. So it's pretty much the ideal case scenario.
I also got 5-1 P speed, like what? That's arguably one of the hardest P speeds in the game. The P speed I got in 5-1. I have to really manipulate my P meter arrows to build it in certain times and not build in other times, and it's very complicated and demanding on the controller, but come on, it's GDQ. GDQ only expects the best.
5-1 is one of those levels you wouldn't typically see any P-speed strats utilized until the very end when you're on flat ground. Usually, you just want to make your way up those steps without taking damage, and then just fall straight down from the 2-tile platform, and then just clear a path by sniping the 2 nippers with their fireballs. But Mitch was able to maneuver himself in such a way that he was able to build P-meter and then save a couple extra frames as he was making his way to the level card.
Alright, so I used Music Box there because I already got the P-Wing in World 4. Don't need anything from these guys, so see you later, buddies.
So the first fort in World 5 is pretty easy in terms of execution. You just want to make your way onto the lower levels to make your way past the Ragu. And then once you build that initial peak speed, it's very easy to navigate past the thwomps and the rotodisc towards the doorway.
So I'm going to try and control my coins. I'm going to get 2 coins at the end here, 74. And then I'm going to hopefully get 2 coins at the end of the next level, 76. And then I'll be able to avoid 77. 77 would mean I'm close to coin ship. Just want to avoid my coins.
It's worth noting that coin ships can spawn in place of one of the Hammer Bros on the world map. And this happens when your coin count is a multiple of 11, and the second to last digit of your score matches that coin count. So for example, it will spawn if your score ends in 80 and your coin count is 88. Coin ships can potentially pop up in worlds 1, 3, 5, and 6. So it's never too early to be wary of those numbers as you're progressing through the world. It's a bit of a pain to imagine having to do mental math on the fly, but the time repercussions for encountering a coin ship can easily swing a run or cost you a PB, since you would otherwise have to play an autoscroller that's about as slow as the World 4 airship we just saw.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Beautiful RNG right there.
Hey, say, Mitch, are we going to see a Jesus clip from you tonight?
Nope. No, thank you. I'm afraid, like, my down input won't register and it'll just be like a big waste, right? That's gotta be the worst.
Oh, nope.
Ah, so he's gonna be stuck in there. He can't come out. Hammer Brothers cannot cross beaten levels or a level that I'm currently sitting on, which would never be beaten a level. Alright.
Alright, so level 5-7 has a pretty meticulous P-speed strat to set up. You'll want to take out the Koopa right away with the flower to clear a path for speed, and then carry it across those small gaps among the scattered blocks and leap past the question mark blocks and the enemies. So if it's done correctly, you'll land on the pipe, in which case you'll be able to lift off one more time by stomping the block enemy on the ledge and then landing safely out of the way of Lakitu and the Spinies. So 5F2 was pretty much one of my favorite forts visually, and it's worth noting that as long as you're always moving forward and not wasting any time, you won't have to worry about getting hit by any of the Potoboos in the lava. And by the time you get to that 5th platform, you'll have enough space to build P-speed just before you reach the dry bones. So depending on whether you stomp on it or not will determine how far your jump will take you. Once you're past those last 2 question mark blocks, it may be worth taking a little caution. Usually you'll get lucky and be able to despawn the dry bones right under that pipe, so it's always worth keeping your eyes peeled just in case.
Yeah, don't blink, guys. You'll miss it. I have no clue what this pattern is, so I'm not going for anything. Moving to 4, 1 space in front of this. Like, when would you ever be in this position? Right now.
Yeah, I pretty much have a flowchart for Roy's patterns for everything except movement of 4, because I just don't expect that.
Right? Yeah. Especially the position they were at whenever I put them to sleep. Like, they were ready to give me some good solid movements of 2s and 1s and stuff. And typical, right? So the Hammer Brother did a movement of 4 and went over to the castle. And when I mean movement of 4, that means the Hammer Brother moved 4 spaces on the map before he stopped moving. A Hammer Brother cannot rest on a pipe or a level or a spade card game. So if the Hammer Brother moves 1 space on top of a level, he has to move again to move off the level. In World 5 set up a way where you can get lots of movements of 4. And normally when you get a movement of 4 in the clouds, the Hammer Brother will do a movement of 4 back out of where he got stuck in, but he decided not to, and it was like, okay, cool. So I only did 1 movement of 4, but nope. The Hammer Brothers at the start of the world had to make sure I had that 1 extra movement of 4 there. With this boss though, I'm definitely gonna, because I don't know what's going on, I'm just gonna stomp kill him. That's a good default. If you never know what pattern you're gonna get, just stomp on him. Get it over with, right? I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. He stomps, as long as you jump before he lands on the ground, boom, just enough time. Ooh, tried for the off-screen wand grab.
More often than less, you can expect to fight the music box bro right before you enter level 5-8. So because you had to fight him afterwards, that kind of complicates things a little bit, just in terms of spacing.
Yep. Yeah, when Super Mario Bros. 4 coming out, Nintendo? SMP4? Gandalf! What's going on, buddy? You got presents for me? I can't remember. I think he gives a cloud. Alright, this is warpless, so we don't want to do all these trolly first levels here. Let's get them out of the way. Let's use our hammer. Oop. I do not have an extra music box, so I have to get lucky in this world.
Well, World 6 is it's a pretty technical world by any stretch. It's a lot less of a nightmare compared to 100%, since of course you'll be able to skip 6-1 and 6-3 right off the bat with the hammer.
Some scary stuff right there. We're gonna go for the upside down orb. Orb! Let's go. Orbeez.
This is pretty much the only point in the game in which you're able to do a star kill on Boom Boom, and I think that because of an overkill glitch, that's why you see the upside down orb the way it is.
I didn't think I'd get P speed here. I mean, wait and see what happens. Alright, we'll just be quiet just for this next level. It's the only one I really want to just make sure. Orb. It's pretty good. Quiet for nothing. For nothing. So what I did there is I loaded those 2 nippers when there was already too many sprites on the screen, so the game was like, no way, Jose, I'm not loading that nipper. And it didn't load it. So you get to go up there for free right away. Okay, so I have a very high chance of getting lucky here, but if there's one thing I know about Mario Bros. 3 is that it will not give me luck. I have a very high chance to get lucky here. And... oh, I did. Well then. Made me look dumb in front of all of my friends.
Yeah, Mitch just wanted to get the Cloud Bro out of the 2 Hammer Bro fights. The other one would have been a star, which he doesn't need, so that would have cost him a couple extra seconds just to fight.
This level can be pretty trolly too. This level's so silly. Alright. There we go. Good P speed and good lag reduction there. Not that I was doing anything special to create more lag reduction, but it's weird. It's like lag frames are RNG, but it's RNG depending on how many of those RNG lag frames that you're gonna get in that beginning section. Sometimes it can be really laggy. It kind of sucks. Alright, let's go. We have the extra P-Wings and a wall jump.
6-8 is pretty much a bit of a one-trick pony, and just in the regards that you just want to grab that ice block right away and then just clear a path as soon as possible before the lag has a chance to accumulate. Because that could also have an effect on your P-Speed as you're making your way past those really small hills. right, so Mitch is in 6F3 right now, so he's going to lose that tail right away so we can go a little bit faster. And then normally there would be a strat that would be that would save you about 7 seconds if you're able to do a really precise pixel perfect clip through the floor right below that doorway. And that would allow you to skip that elevator with the 3 extra boos, but that would be really risky to go through, especially in a marathon.
This is another boss where if you're fire killing this boss, which you don't do in Warpless, but if you fire kill this boss, then you need to know, your patterns, Hammer Brother movements for the boss patterns. But when you stomp on him, you don't have to worry about any of that. So this is another boss where in Warpless we don't really have to worry about. Yeah. How we doing on this run so far, TEEX?
We're doing great.
We're doing a pretty good run. Thank you for the commentary, man. I really, really appreciate it. Especially last minute, I saw you there. I was like, this guy's perfect for some commentary. So I really, really appreciate it, and I think everyone else appreciates it too. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we got auto scrollers. It's time. It's time to talk about. Ooh, you guys are gonna like what just happened. Ooh, don't worry, I'm safe. I'm safe. Just gonna go for some screech noises. I wasted it though. I feel like I wasted my clip.
Mitch just went for the swag clip on the World 6 ship. So he's able to avoid the flamethrowers that are right below, and he has about 10 seconds where he just doesn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, it's nice. I don't have to like navigate or do any of that garbage.
So as Mitch mentioned before, he doesn't have to worry about any variable boss patterns for this Lemmy fight, so he just has 3 quick stomp kills on him. And then we'll be moving on to World 7.
Our favorite level, guys. I don't think I got the manipulation. I'd like to get 7-1 first try. 7-1 has not been kind to me. It like is lately, and it isn't. It's weird. Some days I'm not even feeling it, and I just get 7-1. Some days I'm like super into, my movement, and it just doesn't work for me.
What Mitch was mentioning about before about manipulation is there's an opportunity right as you're finishing up the Lemmy boss fight. It basically just involves like right before you grab the wand, just moving like a pixel or 2 to the right when you're in the center of the arena, and then you could set yourself to a relatively low subpixel value, and that will help you increase your chances of getting the clip in 7-1.
I think that was 5th try. I think that's pretty good. My first duck input didn't register. I thought I snapped down, but I didn't, which is okay. But I think I hit the ceiling in a way where if I got the right subpixel, I would have got through. So I don't think either way I would have got through. Alright, look quiet. Very important piece speed right here. Very important.
Right, so since Mitch doesn't have a Fire Flower equipped, he's going to have to use the star as an alternative to get that first nipper out of the way, and that'll allow him enough surface space to start building piece speed. So he doesn't have to worry about building a no block bridge across the gap.
Yeah, if you don't get piece speed there, you essentially it's a long level, so it's worth it. That is the top tier strategy that you would naturally want to do in that level for speedrunning. Whee! Gotta break out the inner child every once in a while, right guys? Whee!
Right,
I love running down the stairs here. And we're gone. Nice.
Yeah, those Koopa stomps like right in the beginning of 7-3 are just so satisfying.
Whee! Alright, favorite level. We have to do it in this. No, we don't. We're not doing that level. No sea creatures, guys. I'm sorry. No sea creatures. Not happening. So as I select this first P-Wing, I look to see where my other P-Wing is so I can do optimal menuing. This game not only has like in-level strategies, boss patterns, RNG, but it has menuing, map movements, and a lot of little optimal things. So I'm going to go for Fire Route here because I haven't actually really practiced much Hammer Suit, but Fire Route luckily isn't really that much of a time difference. So thankfully I get to
Assuming that you're comparing either the hammer route or the fire route, I would say the difference between them is like less than a second, if I'm not mistaken.
I just don't know if I should go for the clips in 7-9 or not. Maybe just 2.
I would say you're already on a good pace where you really wouldn't need to.
Right? But then I'd have to do the level normally, I guess. I don't want to cloud past it.
One of the advantages of having to actually do 7-9 is that even if, God forbid, something should happen in 7F2, you didn't burn your cloud for nothing.
Exactly. Whew, stressful level. So we'll go for 7-9, we'll go for the clips, might as well. This run's pretty dang good. So why not? This is what we're here for. This clips already screwed me over in 7-1, so why not let them screw me over in 7-9? If I get the first 2, I'm out of there, though. I'm not going to.
There's up to 4 walls that Mitch could potentially clip through at the bottom of the maze. And if he's able to get each one on the first try, that saves about 10 to 13 seconds over having to actually do the Fortress in World 8, which if done optimally is about 39 seconds.
Ew! Right on. Right on. Okay. Okay. This is where we get 3 hands, guys. Just remember that.
Alright, so for going for two wall clips, 276 exit pipe on the timer is pretty much as good as you could possibly ask for.
I got a little scared there. I think that's okay, though. Whew! I went for the lost level strategy.
Say, as someone who's a lot more accustomed to using the hammer suit, fire strats for 7F2 just seem a lot more scary to me, just because you have to do a little bit more maneuvering in that first room. Plus, you don't have the luxury of just knocking out that second dry bones for an easy wall crawl.
Yeah, definitely. So what did I, 1 extra hammer brother in this run, right? I think? Starbro? Starbro in World 4.
Right. Yeah, you didn't get the music box in World 2, and you were able to avoid the star in World 6.
Cool, cool. So we're coming up to the last world, as you guys know. No, unfortunately there's not 9 worlds. There is a 9th world in this game, but it is not a world. For anyone who doesn't know, when you go to the warp zone in this game, it does say World 9. So, there you go. If you didn't know something about this game, you definitely know now. You definitely know. Good old auto-scrollers, right guys? We're just jumping around, doing whatevs. This is definitely the run where I get all hands, just because that's the way Mario 3 works. Mario 3 works in a way where, so if you make a mistake, you're getting punished, right? So you punish yourself by making a mistake. Then the game punishes you with RNG on top of that. So anytime you make a mistake, you can almost guarantee, oh, well, we're gonna get another mistake of RNG. It's just like a, you know, 2 buns on a burger. And I definitely just use that as an analogy, so welcome to Mario 3.
I swear sometimes this game is sentient, like it actually knows if you're like ahead or behind your PB, so it knows exactly how many hands to give you.
Right, right. If I get no hands, we all have to pop off, obviously. Let's get the off-screen wand grab, right? Let's get it, let's get it. Come on. Not today. Not today! Mario 3 is a hamburger, Mitch, 2019. Exactly. Right before 2020, I'd explain Mario 3 the best I possibly can before we enter 2020.
If Mitch was able to get that off-screen wand grab, then that means that he would be able to bypass the falling animation for the cutscene at the end of the ship. And how much time would that save approximately?
Off-screen wand grab saves close to 4 seconds. I think from my studies, it's actually a little bit over 4 seconds. And it saves time in both worlds, which is really, really cool. You grab the wand earlier, but because we always split when we grab the wand, so we grab the wand earlier, we split earlier, and then we fall faster. So it's a time save in both worlds. Alright, so I just need to... I don't want to get too carried away in these auto-scrollers. You get carried away in auto-scrollers, you start talking too much, you're not paying attention, next thing you know you're taking damage, you're messing up, you get squished by one of the tanks. Oh, I have a trivia for everyone in chat. Okay? The Twisty Castle in World 5. Is it a level? Post your answers in chat. Is the Twisty Castle in World 5, is that a level? In 100% all levels, technically, do I have to beat that level? Post your answers in chat. I will give you the answer after this tank. So we're gonna do those D-leg strats that I was explaining before, but I don't have the tail here, so I have to stomp and then kind of like move and collide them with each other.
I just see a cascade of no's in chat right now.
Is the Twisty Castle a level? Everyone's saying no.
We see a couple yes, couple maybes. But,
you guys watch my stream too much. I've trivia'd people way too much.
I would say at a quick
Yo! Sorry for screaming. We got Wrangless though. Sorry. Twisty Castle is not a level, guys. The Twisty Castle is a pipe transition that is just extremely long. If there was a way where I could bypass the Twisty Castle in 100%, then it would be a viable strategy. We would be allowed to. Unfortunately, there is no way to skip it. But it is not a level. You do not grab a card at the end of it, and you do not do the ending level celebration either. I'm so sorry for yelling, guys, but Wrangless is like pure RNG. There was no skill involved, and it just made me feel really good to get it. Rip ears, guys. I'm sorry. All right, we're coming up with the hands. I'm a little nervous because this is the run. Like, I want to get no hands, right? This is GDQ hotfix. We get the classic games.
That'll be another good question for chat. How many hands is Mitch gonna get?
Ooh, yeah, guys. Get that in right now. How many hands do you guys think we're gonna get? You're gonna get 4, Mitch! There's not even 4 hands. Come on, guys. What's going on here? Okay, 5. So I'm gonna get 3, game over, then get 2. Alright, I'm on it.
I'd say statistically, 1 hand would be the most likely, but of course we'll all be hoping for 0.
Well, I'm probably gonna get 2. I'm a little nervous. You guys should be too. This is a really good run. No hands would definitely bump this into a top tier run, especially with that 7-9. Sadly, 7-1, man. Juked us, right? Alright.
Moment of truth.
I got you guys.
And
I got you guys though. It had to. The game knew the stakes, and the game was like, "Yo, let's get them. Let's let them pass the first 2, just so we can pull them in for number 3." Dude, that's hilarious. Just to dick us, or excuse my language, just to screw us around. Got us. Whoa! Oh, thank God I ducked there. Thank God. Alright, so this is the Air Force, another one of those tough auto-scrollers, but with Fireflower it's actually pretty easy. You can just kill these rocket wrench guys. Alright, here's the next trivia. What is inside these crates? Alright, what is Bowser transporting? That's what we need to know. Your guess, Teeks? What do you think?
a bunch of Yoshis he kidnapped.
Yoshis! That's horrible. Hashtag free Yoshis, guys, come on. I think it's Goombas, man. They're definitely mass-produced. This run's still really hot. Oh man, if I would've got no hands, that would've been awesome. I have tons of stars, so I can use them. Using a star in this level means I don't have to stress so much. Whew! That's pretty good.
Doing 8-1 without a star is definitely an option, but there's also the possibility that you could just get frame rules as you're trying to build P-speed, or your fireball shot could be slightly off, so if you have the stars, y'all might as well use them to be safe.
I'm gonna take the damage here because I got bad stun RNG, but luckily, I have a star and I can just grab Fire Flower. If this was Hammer Suit, and I mean I didn't do the Sun Kill, but that's best case scenario right there for that. That's pretty good. Oh no, I have the Cloud. That's right. I forgot. That's okay though. So I have an extra Cloud.
Oh no.
I know. If I would have remembered about the Cloud, but that's okay. So that's like a little time loss. But that's okay. I was wondering if I should have just clouded anyways, but there's nowhere to get a Fire Flower, unfortunately, guys.
That's true as well.
That's okay. So now this run instantly went from something awesome to something not so awesome. Yeah, we were on 51 pace.
Yeah, either way, you still would have been losing like 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, in 8-2, I would have done that differently, right? I would have done 8-2 differently. I would have definitely avoided. But that's okay. That's okay. Alright, my first mistake. Alright.
One of the good things about the Super Tank is it's pretty straightforward in terms of execution. You just kind of stay in the front row and then just keep spamming those fireballs to take out those Rocky Wrenches. It's a nice bit of a cool-off period just to take the ease off the nerves before you go into Bowser's Castle and finish off the run.
Yeah, and honestly, you don't even need to shoot them very fast. If I used the Cloud, do you think I would have still got a 51? With the Bowser fight? Because I wouldn't have had fire for Bowser. So anyone who doesn't know, when I don't have fire against Bowser, I feel like I'm instantly losing like 30 to 50 seconds. I don't know the exact time. I couldn't dare time it. It's the lowest of the low.
I think we'll have a better idea once Super Tank is over. Because I know Super Tank itself is a minute 15, and then doing
a minute for Bowser, yeah. Alright, so it looks like we're going to get about a 52-30 something here. It's pretty good. For a warpless run, that's crazy. My last warpless run I did for any GDQ was a 53 something, so PB. PB.
I think that without that mishap with the Angry Sun, that would have just barely been a sub 52. And it's very impressive considering you got those 3 bros in World 4. And
ah, he gave me the bad RNG pattern. That's crazy. All right, so it looks like we're gonna do standard Bowser. This would not be a marathon without standard Bowser.
Oh no.
Yeah, so Bowser did this. He has this one shot that he can do when he jumps up, and it's very rare. I spoke too soon. I was like 52 PB. Yeah, it's no big deal. There's no like reset. We're not soft locked or anything. We just sit here and finish it. Fantastic run. Thank you, Classic Games, for having me. This has been fantastic. Classic Games was the first one that I ever watched, so it's an honor to be here and do the relapse of it. This is so much fun. Thank you guys so much. So time, as soon as we go into the door, still beat last GDQ time, so we're still pretty good. 5306 with a cloud in my inventory. Woo!
One of the questions that was asked in chat is why wasn't Mario taking any damage when you were standing right below Bowser? And that's because Bowser's hitbox is right on his head. So in the upper half of his sprite, nothing below that, so he's just able to duck and still stay safe.
Well,
Yes.
thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mitch, for that run. Fantastic showing. We are going to take a quick break and continue this Mario block with some Super Mario Kart. So we'll be back here pretty shortly. But thanks again, Mitch, for both runs.
No, thank you guys so much, and thank you everyone who watched. You guys are all awesome. Take it easy, guys.
Good night, everyone.